Hello and welcome back everyone to this weekly update on the financial markets. My name is still Jens, and like every week I will cover with you the S&P 500 index, US oil, gold, Bitcoin against US dollar, and a couple of single stocks. We analyze price on a weekly, daily and 4-hour time frame, and based on that we decide which trades to take. And yeah, like you can see, all my trades I have currently open. I will explain you all the reasons why I have taken them, where my stop loss entry and take profit levels are, and you can decide for yourself what you do in your own portfolio. Let's start directly in with the S&P 500 index on the weekly time frame. Yeah, starting on a weekly time frame with the S&P 500 index, you can see that we are in uptrend, printing higher highs followed by higher lows. At the moment, MACD is looking to cool off on a weekly, so I'm expecting a top in the market, at least short term, and then what I hope follows is a small corrective move and then rising prices, continuation of the overall uptrend. On a daily time frame, you can see we got a pretty sharp move to the upper side. It's nearly impossible to print here a daily wide solid uptrend line, but I tried it. We have on the MACD a divergence, so MACD prints lower highs while price is printing higher highs. That's a divergence and negative for price, so a correction should be in front of the door. Yeah, I sold already my active trading position at that level, 6,400 points in the index, I think it was. You can see on my account history here, nice profit, 1,900 US dollars. But yeah, since then we have seen a new all-time high, so maybe I was a little bit early. At the moment we're seeing also a cross to the upper side on the daily time frame. Yeah, this thing can go higher. This broken weekly orange dotted uptrend line should act as resistance. It did act as resistance, but we never have seen the push to the lower side, the corrective move, more sideways consolidation, chopping around this line and getting rejected every time. Now it seems like we want to make the breakout above it. Extremely bullish price action, but it's a little bit overheated. And yeah, on the 4-hour time frame, you can see it more in detail. The moves get smaller and smaller and smaller. Still we're seeing high highs, but I think that has soon come to an end. Maybe next push on coming week higher, but then we have to see a corrective technical move to the downside, and ideally we would see a move near the 200 moving average or the latest significant all-time high levels from before. Then we continue higher. That would be healthy for the overall uptrend. At the moment, no trade for me in the S&P 500 index, and if you are still in a long position, maybe reduce that one, but decide always for yourself. Next on the list, US oil. US oil on the weekly time frame, I will make a chart. We had a significant monthly downward line and red is solid. We have seen the break to the upper side, which was initially bullish. Afterwards, we have seen a huge weekly corrective move. You could argue that you see here an A, B, C move, point C being at the moment the lowest point of the complete movement. Maybe C is already in, but maybe C also can get a little bit lower. If we see a break of the last high here, that one already tried to break above this weekly orange solid downward line in combination with the 200 moving average. It was in the past support for price, then turned resistance. We see a break and a retest and a break of the retest of that one. This situation here gets extremely interesting for long trades, but we do not have that yet. If we drop one time frame lower to the daily time frame, you can see it's chopping a little bit around. I thought here we had double bottom scenario. We have seen also the bullish price action. That one was news driven. Then we collapsed directly. Another A, B, C corrective move. Another secondary daily downward line and white dotted here. Yeah, the earliest trigger I can give you is you see price above this last high here, pullback, and then a break of the pullback to the upper side. And in this situation, you can think about an entry level could look like conservative look like this. And then you can trade oil to the upper side. At the moment, that's the most likely scenario for me trading oil personally. I'm not willing to trade at the moment short. Yeah, we have seen the violation of this weekly support zone that's got violated to the downside, but I'm directly rejected. Maybe it stays also range bound. At the moment, not the most interesting asset for me for active trading positions, but decide for yourself. Next, gold. Yeah, gold is absolutely different to US oil. Oil in a long-term downtrend, gold in a new long-term uptrend. Yeah, it's looking extremely bullish. We had a long-lasting period where price was bouncing off this resistance zone to the downside. But the moment we have seen the breakout, we went parabolic to the upper side, printing higher highs and higher lows on the weekly time frame, most of the time supported by the 10-week moving average. The 200-week moving average is far away. We left that behind. MACD at the moment, no bearish signs. We have seen lately across to the upper side here on the weekly MACD indicator, and we have seen a breakout out of this sideways consolidation to the upper side, which you can already see I used for an entry in a long trade. Stop loss below this sideways chop, and entry was the breakout. If we drop one time frame lower to the daily time frame, you can see it in more detail. We had also a daily white solid uptrend line aligning with the 200 moving daily average. We had some sort of triangle formation here with the secondary daily uptrend and downtrend line. And once we have seen the break above the prior highs and this white dotted downtrend line, I went along with $2,000 at risk, or 2% of my account balance at risk, with the stop loss placed below the last significant lows here. And yeah, still already in a good profit. My take profit target is slightly below the $4,000 mark, because I think that's a psychological mark a lot of market participants are looking at as a potential goal. So I want to get out a little bit earlier. And also the second Fibonacci extension level, which is also often a good take profit area, is slightly above that one. Yeah, the Fibonacci retracement tool, for your information, measured from the low of the movement to the last high of the movement. Then you get this retracement levels that we haven't really tested because it's so bullish right now. And yeah, but you can use this extension levels as take profit targets. Works pretty well. Here on the daily time frame, the MACD indicator is cooling a little bit down. We are probably also short term a little bit overheated, so we'll probably see a smaller pullback before continuation. On the 4-hour time frame, you can see we have here MACD indicator divergence, higher highs on the 4-hour, lower highs on the MACD indicator, or double top, let's say. So maybe we'll see a smaller pullback and then a continuation. Yeah, maybe you can use that if you want to get in a long position. If you are in a long position, hold on to that one. That's at least what I will do. And yeah, if we see this pullback and then taking out the pullback with a new all-time high, I will probably move my stop loss to my entry level and take the risk then, take the trade then risk-free. So I can only make profit and no loss anymore. Lets you sleep calm at night. Yeah, that's all I have for gold, but we can directly start with Bitcoin, the digital gold. Bitcoin, the asset I started with in the financial markets, so my favorite one by far. We have seen also here, like in gold, higher highs and higher lows on the weekly time frame. The one difference we have right now is we see here on the weekly MACD divergence, lower highs in the indicator, but higher highs in price. We had a small pullback below the 10-week moving average, and now we are retesting that from the lower side. So there is a chance that we will see another pullback, and then I hope at least here this weekly uptrend should be at the last resistance for the pullback if it goes that far, and then continuation in the end to the end of the 4-year Bitcoin cycle, which is normally the high of the 4-year movement. So pretty bullish on the long term, but short term we can see some more volatility. Because of that, I moved also my stop loss a little bit lower, risking 2% of my account balance right now for making roughly 7.7% of my account balance profit. So pretty good risk reward ratio. Price has already tested first Fibonacci extension level measured from low to the high of the last major movement. And yeah, because of that, corrective move is definitely in the cards. On a daily time frame, the picture looks even bullisher. So we had here the prior highs, we had this ABC corrective move, the breakout. That was also the moment where I enlarged my position. That was already ongoing since here April 2025. After we've seen the breakout of this downtrend line, of the tariff announcements and so on, bullish, I got another position or increased the position right here, and since then we have seen a new all-time high and a sharp pullback, breaking this daily uptrend line to the downside, but getting rejected here at the latest all-time highs from this movement. So from there on we can see rising prices definitely, and never look back, and making new all-time highs from here on. Because of that, I'm still in a long position and not out of the trade, but like I said, on a weekly there's still a possibility that we'll see prices even lower. How far? I don't know. What shouldn't happen is that we will see prices below this orange weekly uptrend line. That's for sure. That would be pretty bearish in my view. Everything else is fine for me. If we drop one time frame lower to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we went out of this downtrend into a new uptrend, getting above the 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, MACD is crossing to the downside right now, so maybe a pullback, but you can argue you see here the head to shoulders, so the head and shoulders pattern, and you can draw also the neckline right in here, so a pullback to that one and then continuation would be also a nice pattern to trade. I'm in a trade, I stay in a trade, and you can decide what you do for yourself. That's all I have for the 4 main assets. What now follows are the single stocks. And yeah, I have one of these, a couple of ones are already in a trade. So yeah, let's start with AOS. Here, AO Smith Corporated on the daily time frame. We have 3 similar situations. The third one is the current one. I have marked the situation here I wanted to trade. And I did that also the 3rd time here. So similar situations, similar outcome was my guess at least. So I went long after seeing prices above the prior highs and this second corrective move. Stop loss below this move, and yeah, long with a 2.4 risk reward ratio. The 4-hour time frame, you can see also the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern, and I'm expecting at least a movement to the upper side, like the pattern is deep. So yeah, trade is ongoing, already active and in slight profit. Next, Netflix. Netflix Inc. on the daily time frame, you can see I did a back test on this stock, so because of that reason I traded this MACD cross below the 0 line, cross bullish to the upper side if price is above the 200 moving average. So I entered long after a significant price level. That one I found on the 4-hour time frame, so I waited for this downward line to break to the upper side and went then long. Then bad news came in, so the CEO left Netflix, a good CEO, and because of that the stock was dripping down. So maybe my stop loss gets taken out. That's part of the game. I would lose 0.5% of my account balance. If not, maybe price recovers here and will meet my take profit, which is 2 times more risk far away to the long side. And yeah, currently in minus, but I made the plan in advance and I will execute it like planned. Next, Investor AB. Investor AB Class A, that's stock, long-term uptrend to a moving average was in the past support. Then after the pullback of price turned resistance, we have now a series of highs where price hasn't been able yet to break higher. So if price is able to break higher, plus we are getting above the 200 moving average, that would be a bullish sign to me. So I entered, or I placed there a buy stop position, risking 0.5% of my account balance. The stop loss is placed currently below the last significant low, and this setup stays valid until I have seen either the buy stop order getting triggered, so I'm in the trade, or this stop loss level getting broken to the lower side. Then I will delete this setup and wait for a new one. My take profit level is 2 times my risk far away. Yeah, similar like in Netflix, but not triggered yet. So you can think about getting the same setup ready or decide otherwise. Next, Tesla. Tesla Inc. on the daily time frame looking beautiful. At least my trading setup here, we had a triangle formation above the 200 or inside the 200 moving average, above a significant daily support zone after a huge pullback and break of a downtrend line. So a break about out of the triangle to the other side would be bullish. So I placed a buy stop order there that got triggered. We have seen a pullback, so maybe the entry was a little bit early, but afterwards in hindsight it was perfectly right. And then we have seen a lot of momentum shooting to the upper side. Stop loss below the midpoint of the triangle and a significant low. Risk reward ratio 2 to 1. So yeah, the take profit is placed slightly below the prior all-time high, which often act as resistance again for price. Doesn't mean that we will reverse completely and don't see new all-time highs, but that's the conservative way of placing the take profit at least. So far so good in profit. Yeah, nice trade. Next, Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire, also on the daily time frame here, we had a nice uptrend channel that was broken to the lower side, but we got rejected at the daily white solid uptrend line. We had a break of a secondary daily white dotted downtrend line supported by the 200 moving average. And yeah, we have triggered with that a buy stop order. We had a nice push to the upper side, retesting the lower end of this price channel, getting rejected lower. Again, 200 moving average acts at the moment as support, and my stop loss is well secured at the moment below the low of the whole downtrend movement here. The expectation is that we are changing here from a downtrend to an uptrend again and continuing the bigger time frame uptrend. My take profit is placed 2 to 1 risk reward ratio to the upper side, with the stop loss slightly below the upper side of this bullish price channel. That's Berkshire Hathaway, triggered but near the entry. So if you want to join that setup, it's still possible. Next, Snap-on. Snap-on Incorporated on a daily time frame in a solid uptrend, printing higher highs and higher lows, supported by this weekly orange uptrend line. Currently, we have seen a pullback to the 0.6 Fibonacci, 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. From there on, it seems like we are changing from a downtrend to an uptrend again. The moment at the key daily support and resistance level. If we break that one to the upper side in combination with the white solid downtrend line, I think that's a bullish sign. To be conservative, I placed my buy stop order above the last major high of this smaller movement here. And yeah, the stop loss is placed below this pullback. Should be secured if we see the buy stop order. And then I'm betting on the continuation of the overall uptrend, risk reward ratio of 2 to 1. Slightly below the first Fibonacci extension level. So not triggered yet, everything is still possible. Setup stays valid until I see the buy stop or the take profit or the stop loss level getting reached. Let's continue with CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike Holdings, also here on the daily time frame, a long-term uptrend at the moment at a significant daily support and resistance zone. Orange dotted weekly uptrend line intact, not tested yet by price, so that's absolutely in the cards that we will see not directly a push higher, but first another move to retest this uptrend line and from there on start the continuation of the uptrend. But if this last local high here gets taken out after seeing the push higher of this downtrend line, so changing from a downtrend to an uptrend supported here by the 200 moving average, which is support at the moment, then I will get into my buy stop long position with a stop loss below this major daily support zone and aiming for a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. Stop loss again placed slightly below the first Fibonacci extension level. That's all I have for CrowdStrike, also not triggered yet. Let's continue with Blackstone Inc. Blackstone, also long-term bullish chart, a lot of volatility here. We have seen a massive pullback, then a break of the downtrend to the upper side supported by the 200 moving average on a daily time frame, then an ABC corrective move and a secondary downtrend line here. And yeah, I have decided to go in a long position if we see this ABC pattern taken out to the upper side, because I expecting continuation movement higher. MACD on daily also crossing bullish to the upper side, stop loss below this ABC pattern. Yeah, at the moment a little bit below the entry level, getting triggered. I think it was yesterday, so on Friday. I'm making this video on Saturday. I think I will upload it on Sunday. Yeah, the take profit as well, like the most other trades, 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, also staying below the first Fibonacci extension level. Now we got to the Chinese stock Alibaba. Alibaba Inc. ARD on US dollar. Here you can see we had a huge downtrend, found support here at the lows of September 2015, and since then we have built out the bottom here and are starting to rise, supported by the 200 moving average. We have taken out a significant support and resistance zone here to the upper side, and that was the moment after seeing here also this first breakout and then pullback to get long if I see again prices going into that direction. So far that was a good idea. Stop loss placed significant below this support level and below the 200 moving average. Take profit 2-to-1 risk reward ratio far away, staying below the next weekly support and in this case resistance level, because I want to get out of the trade before we reach that level and get rejected lower. So pretty bullish for Alibaba. Next, Linde PLC. Yeah, Linde PLC has a really bullish long-lasting chart here. We have seen a broken uptrend level, but we never have seen a really huge pullback. It's more a sideways consolidation, which is indeed bullish. We have the upper end of this sideways consolidation. We tried to break above it a couple of times slightly, and at the moment we are seeing here the pullback. I'm expecting if we take out the prior highs here, both slightly above this zone, if we take them both out to the upper side, it's a good moment supported by the momentum to get into a long position. Stop loss conservatively far away of this support and resistance zone, and we have a 2-to-risk-1 ratio again. Place here slightly above the first extension level of the Fibonacci retracement level. Maybe I will readjust that one. So maybe take my stop loss a little bit nearer, maybe below this pullback. And then I can also reduce my take profit level slightly below the first extension level to stay more conservative. Then I'm more risky with my stop loss, but more conservative with my take profit. Let's switch to Toyota. Toyota Motor Companies is also long lasting in uptrend, even if it's also volatile and not in a major ultra bullish uptrend like a lot of the tech stocks. But I found this interesting situation here. We had broken a daily downtrend line, then sideways chop, and an 4-hour or daily, it's probably the wrong color here. We have a major support and resistance zone here, and we have seen the break higher, the pullback, another break higher, the pullback, and I think if I see price above that consolidation here, above this daily support zone, then I want to get into a long position with a stop loss below this consolidation and below this support zone, aiming for 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, staying far below the prior all-time highs of this stock. So I think that could be a nice setup. We will see if it gets triggered, and so far it's not the case, but yeah, we will see. Either we see the buy stop order filled or we see prices below my stop loss order, then I will cancel that setup. Next to our newcomer, Applied Materials. Applied Materials Inc. Long lasting uptrend, a lot of volatility here, major downswings, major upswings, and we had currently a major downswing, and the situation is similar like in the past, not identical but similar at least. So we had the breakout of this daily downtrend line, we had an ABC corrective move to the lower side, stopping at a major support zone, and the Fibonacci retracement level 0.618, which is significant. So my stop loss level is also placed below that one. Normally you would have to wait for a break above this ABC pattern, or at least wait for the break out of this downtrend line and a pullback. I can draw that in for better understanding. So this here would have been a nice trading setup. But yeah, then you are already late to the party, so I decided to get a little bit more risky because it's looking pretty bullish to me, especially when I compare it to the past situation here. 200 moving average at the moment, a little bit resistance, but if we see price above that, it turns support. We have MACD cross on the daily time frame here, also bullish. And yeah, I think if we see this buy stop order filled, I don't think personally that the likelihood is pretty high. We'll see prices again below this 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, and for that I'm aiming for 4 times more risk here, slightly below the prior all-time high and the second Fibonacci extension level, making 2.4% in my account balance if my take profit gets filled here. So yeah, pretty good risk reward ratio, one of the highest I have in my portfolio right now, not triggered yet. If the stop loss area gets met by price before my buy stop order gets filled, I will delete the setup like always. That's all I have for you right now. I hope you learned something out of the video and got some nice ideas. I hope you see me next time with my next weekly update on the financial markets. Till then, bye bye.